Alright guys, back at it. So I decided to put a light on the player. Kinda helps with the weird post-processing effect. I think we need a light on that door. Definitely. Game, entity, interactable door. Viewport, add a light, a spotlight, bam. I think we still kind of need a light there, though. That might be a thing to go about. It's like placing some lights in areas. So let's go with light, spotlight. I'm just going to place a couple of these around. So here I'm going to do static. I'm just going to kind of have a couple of these guys. So I'm going to say, yeah, something like that. Should say, because I don't tell the player they can run, so that's one thing that I should fix real quick. So that's in player HUD WD control pop-up. Here, let's do a spacer on the vertical box, and then a horizontal box at the end, and then we're going to need a border and a image. Okay, that image, we're going to also put a spacer inside the horizontal box above the border, kind of like that, and we're going to do, I think it's going to be about a 40, 80, no, it's like a 150 or 160, something like that. I think it's more like 150. The border itself is going to have no alpha, so that's 0. And then the image, it is going to be shift. So shift to run, spacer 60. Take a look at the size of that border. 1.2. Yeah, so that is going to be more like a 150. And then the color, I'm going to go to image here, grab this one. And then we're going to go back and grab the tint color. Kind of like that. Okay. See, one major issue with that. Might want to do. Like 90? 85. I think the 1.2 and the Y might be just a little bit too much. Really? 0.5. Oh, it's a horizontal. So, like, that affects both. Okay, well, you know what they say. When in doubt, keep it the same. So, yeah, we'll just kind of keep it like that then. So WASD, shift to space. And we're going to be working on this enemy down here. If I remember right, so I might have a level test map. Let's go here. Oh! Oh! Okay. I deleted the knockback. That makes sense. Oh, man. I did. I deleted the knockback data. Okay. That makes sense. So, back to the other map we go. Shit. Well. So all this stuff comes from our shot. Oh no. I'm trying to remember how I did that. No, because I did say we do have to keep that, and then I deleted it. That's funny. It's way too far back to do a Control Z. That was very important. Let's see here. What we're gonna do is game player components. No, I think it's like. Shared components. Let's take a look at attach weapon here. knockback force. Okay. So we have a knockback force. We have, let's see what else that BPI guy wanted. So we should be able to compile, save that. Get out of the door. So this is going to be the force, and then the rest is the hit location and the attacker location to then do the knockback. Do we have so this does call the knockback. We take in the location. This is the thing that is the force. So here we just have to tell it to do something. I think it's going to be like a, it's not a jump. What do they call that? The character component here. It's like a launch. Maybe it's not part of that. Is it part of just launch character? Okay, so that's the launch velocity. So here is our where we were hit. I wonder why we need the, why I thought we needed the attacker location here. Because this is where I was hit at, and that is going to determine where I'm pushed back from. It really shouldn't matter about where the attacker himself is if I know where I was hit from. So that's and really we want the impact normal. So I do wonder here for the BPI, we really only want the hit location and the hit strength, because we really don't care about that. And what we really care about is like, where's my normal, right? That surface that we were hit on. So we're going to go back to basic enemy here. So that's our hit location, that's our impact normal, and we're going to move the character away from that. So our launch character, this is where we currently are, this is where we're going, this is where I was hit at. So where I am, impact, what I want to see real quick. So we want, this is the vector length, and then this is my hit strength. So I want to just kind of take a look at those real quick. So print the hit strength as well. So print string, so hit strength and that, compile, boom, save. And here I'm going to do current camera. Oh shit, I don't have the weapon. Test map time. So content, level, test map. So that's always going to be 1. Which is fine, because that's the vector length is 1. Let's just check real quick that as well, and we no longer need to check that. Let's see which one's more useful for me. I think overall this one is going to be more useful for me. So here, just kind of see where that does for a second. You know what? I'm going to move that thing closer. Right now he's coming towards, so we need the opposite. By, and that's going to be a -1. Put that there. Okay, that's fine for the knockback. There's one thing we're missing though. It's a blood particle effect. So create maybe? Spawn system at location, blood spray. I think I'm gonna, do that first. So, gonna grab those real quick. Because the location would be the hit location. Kind of like that. Not quite seeing the Niagara effect there. So it might not be spawn at location. So let's just kind of take a look here. It's a launch character. No, instead of like a spawn. Yeah, I mean, really, we do need a spawn. So what's happening here? did see it that time. Right, okay. So just a little bit of adjustment there. Maybe a plus isn't quite right. Maybe just actor's location. Yeah, that seems fine. Now this access none thing, I'm not worried about that because this was a test map, and I had accidentally deleted my knockback code, but I think we made it better because yeah, using the hit normal is more responsible. So yeah, so how my shots work in there, we decrease the ammo, play the force back for the controller, muzzle flash, weapon recoil, it's like a screen shake. Yeah, so there's all kinds of good stuff that's happening there. And then, so we have this guy here, and he does have his location, and we were doing the AI. So let me go back to basic enemy because I'm pretty sure he has the timeline. Yep. And if I remember correctly, there is a way. So I'm going to file, save all. And I'm going to open project. We're going to take a look back at detention here. So detention is another side project I got going on at the moment. Basically, you and your friends get sent to detention, have to escape to school. Multiplayer game. If I hit play here, you can kind of see I got very similar ideas here. And then like this AI, he's like a hall monitor. So he kind of goes, and then he paces back. And then like, if you like get in the radius, he'll chase you. Type of stuff. But yeah, so what I'm doing is we want to look here. Just kind of see what we had there. Yeah, simple enough. Move to location, passing in that walk location, target location. However we want to look at that. Yeah, that target location. So file, open project, back to game here. Almost Easter, and so no school today for me, so I've just been relaxing, making a game. Let's go back to game, entity, enemy, basic. It's not that, but we can open that, compile it, and shut it off if we actually want game, systems, AI, basic. And here we have the same idea, so event tick, and then enemy, and then off our enemy there. We want walk target location, maybe. Yeah, no, it looks like I messed up a little bit here. Because, yeah, that makes sense. That's the walk target location. This part is what doesn't make sense. But maybe it does. Boom, boom, compile, save, and we will drop in so that was not correct. So access none, trying to read real property enemy. You know, that's one of those funny things. It's like you do this in one project, and then you try to repeat it, and it first just doesn't quite work out, which is kind of hilarious. Looks the same to me. The only thing we're missing is that target location. File. Not quite sure why you return null there, though. This would be why. So that should be fine. Let's fix this as well. A little fast. Yep, there we are. So we have a walk target location. We have our original location right there. There we go, compile. So now he should walk to our target. Yep, looks like he's walking there. He's gonna wait some amount of time and we'll walk back. Potentially. Oh. He's not going to walk back, but if I'm in his radius... Yeah, no, neither. Okay. again, that should be target location. Thought that's what I changed it to, but that's okay. So it walks over there. Hold on. So this is the enemy. This is his target location. In basic enemy, we do hey in begin play. We set the original location. This is the target location. That's fine. This is knockback. Event tick is doing a track target. If we have found them, then the target location is target. And then we're going to check timer. Check timer. Might be a little bit off there. Logically, because we're saying, you know, timer plus equals. Well, that's only if it's found, so that's fine. Yep, that's fine. Should be found. Just kind of check the overlap here. So collision. Yeah, should be fine. This might be an issue. Yep, okay, and if I'm in this range, doesn't seem to care about me if I'm in his range. Let's see why. Chase timer. Class defaults compile chase timer. Adding if it's greater than 10. Boom, found is false, and then we set that to 0. How big is your sphere, buddy? Oh, that would do it. Oh yeah, definitely in that range. So let's try it again. It's kind of pacing. It's a little fast. Enemy is fast as hell. So we definitely don't want them that fast. It's a little unfair to the player. That's under character movement component. Let's change that down to like a 300 for his max. Boom, files save. And then there's one thing that this guy needs, and that's his health. There's a thing about the health component though that I am curious on. So I'm going to go to, let's do shared components, health component, BPC health. Put that up. So we have a decreased health guy. Gonna need like a BPI damaged or something here. Increase health. There's always this update HUD guy. It's kind of what I thought there. Yeah, so that's not really gonna do good for the enemies. Enemies kind of need their own system, so to speak. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So actor component, BPC, enemy, health here, compile variable, max health. It's gonna be a float, and then current health. And these guys kind of need like a little health thing. How do I want to go about doing that? Let's say max health is going to be 50. So I get max health. I'm going to set current health to max health on begin play here. Boom. BPC enemy. We're going to add BPC enemy health. Trying to figure. I'm not quite sure how health bars are done on enemies in Unreal. That's a good question. It's probably I'm going to ask Google. Is that a HUD question? You know. So widget component attached to the enemy actor. Okay, well, yeah. Okay. Let's go into entity enemy and let's do a widget folder here. And let's do a user widget. And we're going to call this enemy main widget. WD enemy main. I'm going to make a canvas panel like this. So compile, save, and then I want to say would do a user interface like this, and this would be like WD enemy health bar. Here I'm going to do an overlay panel because the canvas panel updates every frame. The overlay is only not quite every frame, you know, so it's better. There's a size box, and then we would need some type of progress bar. The size box here, I'm going to override, do like a something like that. And then here, I believe I would need 100, some type of color like so. And then here I would do user created enemy health bar, click it, size to content. Epic Games, if you're listening, that should be default. Why would you not want it size to content? If you don't want it size to content, allow us to check it off. It's having it on just kind of makes sense. Just a thought. So, kind of like, I'll go there, anchor it to the middle, do like a 0, 0. Now, I've never added a widget to an enemy thing before, so that's going to be our next step here. Maybe we gotta add that to the viewport? Something like that? Well, let's add it to our viewport. So let's take a look at that. It's a widget component. Where the heck would I put in the widget? Widget class. So that's the widget, but you know, seeing it seems to be kind of weird. So I'm going to do a light on this guy. Let's do spotlight. See if we can see any of those changes. Not quite. I think it might be because of the cell shader, but I'm not certain. That is the case. So, because of the cell shader, we're gonna have to do some stuff. that's something to think about there. So I'm going to say widget component affected by post-processing shader. The widget material. So that's something I did not know about either. Because you got a material. It's unlit. Okay, so let's do, where did I put that? Into materials for UI. Let's do a material unlit UI material unlit and then let's just do a ooh, well, I still need to use your interface there. Well, that didn't help anything. Why would it? That's interesting. So unlit. just kind of thinking here, because we do, I think, want it to be user interface. I think we need a way to like mask that out though. Kind of check here. See, that's something that it's going to take me a while on, because the widget for having a health, we have to add the widget component, which makes sense. But we also have the post-processing effect, so having that weird black spot is there, and having a unlit which is nice and all. But maybe I guess like ain't no way that's gonna be, you know, a thing. Whatever. Let's just take a look at it. Yeah, ain't no way. It's horrid. Gonna be kind of funky with that post-process effect there. I wonder if we threw the light like right at it. Can't be a great idea. Check it out though. Nah. I suppose like maybe in the widget itself. It has like a material, maybe up here in style. Maybe some special tinting. No. Okay, well, in this case, because it messes with the post-processing so much, enemies simply cannot have a health bar. We're going to have to communicate that a different way to the player. Just because it would be a little less intrusive that way. I think they could still use a little directional spotlight thing though. Like that. Preview. That's funny. Oop. Let's go back to getting stuff done. So when we shoot the enemy, his health needs to decrease, and then the enemy also needs to be able to, you know, attack the player. And then I think those are the two major things. So let's make the enemy kind of like shoot a thing. I think that would be a good start. So let's go into entity, enemy. Inside basic, I'm going to make a folder, and I'm going to call it enemy projectile. I'm going to make a blueprint actor. We're going to call this enemy projectile. So here we're going to do a sphere. I'm going to do a sphere collision. I'm going to have that as the default there, like so. And I'm going to do block all dynamic compile. And then here I'm going to say no collision on the actual sphere. And kind of pumped that up. It's actually going to be quite a large projectile. For now, I think that's fine. And here we're going to have a, let's look for like something red. Ooh, very shiny. Boom, and then we will add a projectile movement component, compile, and here we need like initial. And this would be like, let's do like a 2000. And then there is a max, let's say that's like 3000. And then there's like a projectile gravity. Let's do a 1. That should be fine here. And then for the actual BP enemy, we could do a custom event. And I'm going to call this shoot target. Right? Because once we have a target, we do have this timer. Boom, 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 boom. And while it's false, you know, we can shoot target as well. And do like a delay. And I'm going to say delay it for every like 2. And what we can do is like spawn actor from class. This is going to be the BP enemy projectile. We're going to start at add a arrow component and move it about there. And I'm going to call that arrow shoot location. Like so. Go back to the enemy event graph, grab that, shoot world location, that's not that. That's going to be that. Rotation's fine like that for now. Yeah, let's go ahead and try that. So what I'm going to do is go back this way. And current camera, yep, play. Let's grab his attention. That seems like it's at least spawning. We can do a custom, kind of like that. Make sure he's on the enemy. Yep. Boom, boom, boom. So I wonder if what I was looking at is not his forward vector. I think it should be. Take a look here. Turn his current rotation as well. I think they are being shot. One thing that we need to do is, because this is a block all in a sense, so an on component hit. First, we're going to cast to the player. Get. So I'm going to say component. It's like a get component type guy. Has component, get component. Yeah, get component by class, and we're going to look for the BPC health. And if this is the case, then we are going to do, I think it's called decrease. Yeah, decrease health by an amount of 15. And then destroy the actor. And then if it fails, we're going to just destroy the actor as well. So our health does go down. There's one thing about that health going down that wasn't very good. It was just kind of right, which is fine, but you kind of got to go a little bit further than that. So yeah, this is being destroyed. He can do damage, yada yada. Let's take a look at the shared component health. So this takes this, it's subtracting damage, bam. You want to kind of like slow that down in a way, right? Like lerp it from where we are, right? So let's do like a lerp. So we're lerping from our current health. And then this is kind of like, you know, this minus this is kind of like where we're going to, I guess. Let's try like a, I don't know. Not sure about this, guys. We'll kind of take a look-see. And of course, we're going to want to shrink that projectile a bit. Give it a material. No. That's not quite right. So we're going to want to take off those for now. Hmm. Kind of want that change. Let's kind of think about this. So update health is taking a percentage. That percentage is this divided by that. But it's a sudden wham. So if we took our amount is what we want to decrease by current health, so this that was pretty deadly. Yeah. Huh. Let's see. I want to go from where we're at to a new thing over an amount of time. Let's try looking this up. So Unreal Engine 5 lerping health bar. FNTerp2 node. So that's our current. That's our target. That needs to be in a tick. Kind of looking here. Enemy projectile hits decrease health, and then it disappears. BPC health, decrease health. This needs to be in like a tick. if we're damaged, take our damage amount, do that, and this is going to happen on tick. Should be take damage rather, but tomato, tomato. Let's decrease health. We just need a way for that to kind of be reset. I don't think we need this part. Maybe we do. So then damage would be 0, and then we're interpret to 0. Let's see here. Reason why, I think, because like when it shoots me, that might be because damage never gets set back to 0 in that case. If we don't have this, it's 15. So just trying to think logically here, right? Because current is 100, this is 15. So 100 minus 15. If our return not quite a return, but it's like once we've reached that cap, it needs to set damage amount back to 0. So if current health is less than or equal to current health minus damage amount, so if current health is less than or equal to this, well, if it's greater than or equal to that, then we can continue. So if current health is greater than that, then go ahead and do this. Otherwise, set this to 0. So grab his attention, shot once. So our current health when hit is the thing. Decrease health happens. Health when hit is current health. If health when hit is greater than our health when hits minus this, then decrease. So, hit. Why would that be the case? Oh, because that's always gonna. The health, okay, this is the health I have. So this is where I'm at when I got hit. We're going to subtract the damage amount. So if I am less than or equal to this, logically that doesn't hold up. Okay. So I'm going to print a couple things here because I gotta get my brain thinking, my logic working here. So this is my health when hit, and this is my damage amount. So this should be 115. That's what that should print when I get hit. Which seems fine. So what we're going to do is say, hey, health when hit minus damage amount. Right? Because let me take that out. Let me take this out. So health when hit minus the damage amount is our target. Current is health when hit I'm gonna take a break. Okay, let's think about this. We want to lerp the health. Lerp the health. So not quite sure why that wouldn't work like that, but let's think about this. Because the current health needs to be set. That's going to tick down forever because damage amount is still set. Let's think about it through the projectile for a second, because like the projectile, I can set that amount. That felt good. Oh. So the projectile sets the amount to 15 and destroys itself. Current health minus 15. This is the target. This is the value. This is the health. This can only happen for X amount of time. That's the problem here, because once we set damage amount, what's happening is 100 minus this amount. We're setting this, that is this, setting this, that is this, setting this, that is this, that is this, and it's just looping him downward. I mean, we could do max technically, just to kind of see what happens here, but it's only going to happen one time, I think. Happens no time. Why would that happen no times? Just trying to think here. Because the problem being, we need a way for the damage to become 0. Otherwise, this will continue. And the damage should technically, like current health, if current health is 75 in this case, then this needs to end. Like, when this equals this whole thing needs to end. So I am going to do a branch here. So if damage is true, go ahead and do this. But we need a way for damage to become false. So this is happening on tick if damage is true. We can say damage is true like this on decrease health. But that case where this and this, and that's a problem, right? Because current health is going to be changing, and I'm not quite sure if we're changing current health, how to compare it, because the value is going to be changing. It's almost like we need a cash target amount, and that's the part that's weird in my head, because I wouldn't think we'd need to do that. So like, okay, this is damage amount, which is fine. That's how much is the damage. But the target amount, so I'm going to call this target amount, would be equal to current health minus damage so that's our target amount. That's cached. feel like I'm overcomplicating this, and I am unsure, honestly.